This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
Mr. Wernick, you served as the Clerk of Privy Council, and in having been in that role, were you surprised that the National Security Advisor confirmed that the PCO had received a CSIS memo regarding the Beijing intimidation campaign targeting Michael Chong in July of 2021, and that Michael Chong was never informed about it, learned about it through the Globe and Mail, and secondly, that the Prime Minister apparently, at least according to his word, had no idea about it and also learned about it through the media?
Well, Mr. Cooper, as I said the last time, I left government 4 years ago. I have no calendars, no secret documents, no records. I was not one of the 32 people that Mr. Johnson interviewed, and I don't have access to the documents that he saw, so I'd be speculating.
I'm not asking, I recognize that you were not there in July of 2021, but you did say the last time that you appeared before this committee that you were not aware of anyone in the PCO ever withholding national security information from the Prime Minister. Do you stand by that?
I am not aware. I don't recall anybody willfully withholding information. There may have been inadvertent gaps in information being passed from one person to another. I think Mr. Johnson writes about that in his report.
And you would acknowledge that an intelligence memo citing an accredited Beijing diplomat targeting a sitting member of Parliament by threatening the safety and security of his family in Hong Kong is a serious matter. You would agree with that?
Absolutely, and I think it's Prime Minister worthy. It should have gone to the Prime Minister.
It should have gone to the Prime Minister, and so therefore you were surprised that it didn't, or does that ring true? I guess I'm not asking you. You weren't there, but you were in the role. You did say information regularly flows to the Prime Minister. So how is it possible that that information, as serious as that, would not have been passed on to the Prime Minister?
That's the part I don't know. I mean, Mr. Johnson interviewed 32 people, including everybody, presumably, who was in that chain of meetings and documents. My view, just reading the Johnson report and media clippings, is that's the kind of thing that a Prime Minister should be made aware of.
Okay. Thank you for that. Besides, well, perhaps you could explain who likely in the PCO would have received a memo such as that.
I'd be going back over Mr. Jean's testimony, I think, but the basis of it is that the National Security and Intelligence Advisor acts as a coordinator among the various security and intelligence agencies. Information flows into the NSIA, part of the Privy Council office, and they make decisions about what to give to various people on their client list and who has the appropriate clearance and who would be interested in particular topics. So that judgment would be exercised somewhere within the NSIA branch of PCO. As clerk, I was copied on documents. I met with the NSIA regularly, I would say roughly once a week, and I left the onus on the NSIA to tell me things that he or she thought I needed to know.
Okay, changing gears a little bit, Madam Chair, to Mr. Wernick, can you explain a little bit about the types of information received by PCO with respect to keeping transmission records? Can you explain how these transmission records are produced and stored?
Well, I can't speak to anything after April 2019. They may have completely rewired or automated the system.
When you were there up until April 2019.
It may have been given to an AI chatbot now. I have no idea how it works now. But what we did in the Privy Council office is we kept track of what we were sending. And I know that the Prime Minister's office kept track of what they were receiving. And there were people in the Privy Council office attached to the clerk's office who did a lot of what we called chasing. And they would keep track of documents. They had dates. They had numbers. There was a log. There were basically two kinds of information passed downstairs. Some of it was for information, and you were not seeking a decision. And some of it was for decision and went to the Prime Minister. And those were the ones that we spent the most time chasing and trying to get a what's called a PM return, the Prime Minister's decision, yes, no, maybe, I want to see more work, that kind of thing. So there were people in the clerk's office and there were people in the Prime Minister's office who were document chasers.
And in your view, would it be difficult for transmission records to be provided to this committee? Would that be a difficult undertaking from your experience up until April of 2019?
I think you would have to ask the current management at PCO. I think it's possible to provide logs that are redacted for some, sometimes there's information that you would want to withhold the fact that the Prime Minister was sent something or met with somebody and so on. But there's undoubtedly some way to do that. And that's just to jump ahead a little bit, that's why bodies like the Review Agency and NSI COP and the federal court and Mr. Johnson's inquiry do get access to that kind of document when they ask for it.
Thank you.